there! You're listening to the Outsourcing Hub Podcast, the pod that brings you anything and everything about building great teams in outsourcing. And we promise to share infinite opportunities, news, updates, and trends in the industry. Hosted by the Vice President of Sales and Marketing at Infinit-O, Mike Gunion.
Hi, I'm Mike Gunion, Vice President of Sales and Marketing at Infinit-O, and welcome to our podcast. We've been in the outsourcing industry for over 15 years at Infinit-O. Our clients are small and medium businesses, startups, first-time outsourcers, among others, all across many industries. We cater to industries from healthcare, finance and accounting, research and development, customer support, IT, and back office support. Welcome to our Talk with the Expert series, a two-part episode that tackles Infinit-O's recruitment and engagement processes, which will primarily focus on how we build great teams, our access to world-class talent, and how we support our team members. With us today are two of Infinit-O's experts and leaders of our HR department. Join me in welcoming Flo Lenoir, Vice President of People and Transformation, and Chris Delphin, Human Resources Manager and leader of the recruiting team. Flo handles all HR functions focused on employee welfare, HR policies, technology transformation, and employee engagement. Chris has been the head of recruitment for over 2 years at Infinit-O, managing recruiters, handling all of Infinit-O's verticals and lines of business, conceptualizing our recruitment strategies to ensure quality of the teams and team members we're building for our clients, and improving overall hiring to onboarding service delivery systems. Hi, Flo, and hi, Chris. How are you guys doing today?
Hey, Mike. Hey, Chris. Doing great. Thank you. Thank you for having us, and very much looking forward to be sharing all our tips and also expertise on that field. It's great to have a venue to showcase it.
Thank you, Flo. And Chris, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, Mike. How about you?
Doing great. Thank you. It's a great topic that I think we're going to be going through today. And I'm actually very excited to learn more about the inner workings and sort of processes that you guys bring to bear to execute our strategies and make our clients happy, as well as keeping our employees very happy, satisfied, and looking to their futures. Thanks again for being with us today at Infinit-O. You know, we take great pride in building great teams for our clients. So let's start with the recruitment process and walk our listeners through our access to world-class talent, A+ recruitment process, 30 to 45 day hiring goal, your view of a secret sauce in building great teams. But before we start, what's your personal take on what makes up a great team? Chris?
Yeah. For me, Mike, a great team is composed of diverse people that communicate openly with each other, and that they are focused on their goals and results, and at the same time they have fun. So that for me, is a great team.
Oh, thank you, Chris. Great outlook. What about you, Flo, from a leadership standpoint? What's your view?
It's a great question, because the great team is actually the outcome of everything that we're able to put together throughout the journey of an individual with Infinit-O. From the moment they get interested in working with us to the moment we're able to hire them, source them effectively, allow them to perform at their best and grow within the organization to the moment they eventually depart, maybe because they retire or because there are other opportunities out there that they get to avail. So ultimately, the great team is really the outcome of all those elements we're able to put together throughout their journey with us. And those teams get to be highly efficient, autonomous, highly performing teams, and they get to excel beyond just the sum of their individualities. I think, as Chris mentioned, it's very important for us to be able to embrace diversity in our teams, acknowledge the fact that there's power in the contribution that every individual can bring effectively in the team, and lastly, the great teams are teams that are able to operate with a high level of trust, communication, high level of agility and resilience. And that's what we do at IO.
Thank you, Flo. Well said to you both. And I think that in my view, dealing with so many different and diverse clients, it all starts with whether you're facing a client and partner or whether you're talking with a recruiter or a recruit, I should say, potential employee. It all starts with being great listeners so that we can match talent to client requirements, to profiling the network and finding the best people that are available. Our goal is always to build high performance teams that are really extensions of our clients. So there's challenges with that because of cultural differences and so forth between Infinit-O and our clients. But our goal is to exceed those client expectations. Ultimately, it's the client who determines whether we really have succeeded at that side of it and whether their hard-earned investment has the expected return from their viewpoint. So all that said, meaning that it's a continuum, isn't it, between what client needs are, matching to the right talent, and then coming back and matching to Infinit-O's need to and desire to be a great employer. Chris, how do we source experts and certified professionals for our clients across such a diverse set of industries represented by our clients?
Yeah, that's a great question, Mike. So we source talent by making sure we have presence in various sourcing channels. And in Infinit-O, we're proud to say that we have access to over 9 million job seekers through our local job boards. And we're actually partners here with the number one job board in the Philippines. And this is where most of the job seekers would be, whether they're employed or they're unemployed. And we've also built partnerships with professional and non-professional organizations and some universities as well. And we also drive in Infinit-O, we also drive employee referral program, which is another good source for talent in Infinit-O. Yep.
Thank you, Chris. And Flo, would you add anything to that?
I think the only thing that I would add to this is that we don't limit ourselves to initial or original set of candidates that we could consider. One thing, to your point, Mike, is that we know the end goal. The end goal is to be able to find candidates that would meet the client's requirements, would satisfy our partners and meet their expectations. And in that aspect, we are also able to leverage on all the tools available to us to grow beyond just the Philippines and be able to source talents regardless of the location. I think is something that we have started to embrace a lot more since the pandemic. And we are now looking beyond the borders of the Philippines. We know they are great talents out there. We are ready to find them. And for as long as, again, they match our requirements and the requirements of the partners that we work with, if we know that they're going to contribute to building those great teams that we talked about, then that's there's, again, no limit for us to expand beyond just our initial comfort zone.
I'm glad you brought that point up because the idea of work from anywhere is something that we are really embracing within Infinit-O. We now have people across a few different countries, myself being one from the United States, and am glad that we have embraced that. And just to let the listeners know that we've actually made some significant strides there, finding people from different centers of excellence around the world, and we'll continue to do so. I'm glad you brought that up. Chris, what do you feel about, do you feel that we get many of our employees that generate referrals for us, and why would that be?
Yep. There are currently our employee referral program is the second highest producer of our hires. And I think that's ultimately because of the culture of Infinit-O and the satisfaction of the employees that we have. I mean, they're very happy with their team that they're in. That's why they invite their colleagues, they invite their friends to join the company.
Great point. So ultimately the satisfaction of somebody working in a place that they enjoy helps to attract, to incent themselves to bring their friends and former colleagues over. It's a good place to work, right?
Yep, exactly.
And you also mentioned something that leads us to sort of a next topic of, it goes beyond talent, right? It's not just somebody who might be a particularly a talented individual, but we also strive to find a cultural fit, don't we? Not just
Yep.
with ourselves, but with our clients. Can you explain to us what our A+ recruitment process looks like, and perhaps how that touches on the cultural fit? Start with you, Chris, please.
Yep. So I'll start first by defining what an A player is. So an A player is someone who is on the top 10% talent in the market, and then they're actually the high performers in the group. So if you look at in Infinit-O, we use a hiring and interviewing methodology that is intended to identify preferred candidates who are A plus or A players for a particular position. And these candidates go through a series of interviews from HR to operations to client interviews. And it is during the HR interview wherein we measure not only their competencies, but we also measure the set of values that they have. If they're aligned with the values that we have in the company, we identify them if they're a good culture fit. So after that, we also have operations and client interviews as part of the process wherein their technical knowledge and competencies are being measured. And there's also something that's unique in Infinit-O is what we call TORC, or the threat of reference check, which is a process wherein we get character references from candidates, which would be their previous supervisors or managers. And then the recruiters set up a call with them to verify the candidate's previous performance. So we can confirm that these candidates are indeed A players. So that's like a summary of what are A plus.
Very good. Very good. So why don't I ask you, Flo, if there's anything you'd like to comment on with respect to the recruitment process and perhaps any evolution that you've seen in that over a period of time you've been with Infinit-O.
Fair. I think the point I would like to add is first, I don't think Chris is giving himself and the team enough credit for the hard work that they're able to do to find and source those individuals. And the reason behind it is because finding talent is one thing, but finding talent within the time frame that we impose ourselves, I think, is another set of challenge to actually capture. And that's because, again, we have commitments to our teams to keep the level of performance that they have whenever we have to replace someone or whenever we have to add someone to the team. And we have commitments to our partners, our clients, regardless of where they are in the world. And that is also part of the contract that we have, just the trust contract that we have with our clients, that we keep that level of performance as well. So finding them, but within the time frame that we impose on ourselves, again, is something that is to the credit of Chris and his team. And what I would also just mention on Chris's point is that it's really about not forgetting the human behind the talent and the business that we're in. We know that there's physical distance between the clients and their teams in the Philippines. There's a lot of ways that we can forget that this is not just about performance, but it's also, again, the belief that by taking care of the team members that we have, they will take care of our partners and they will take care of the performance that they have to deliver for our partners. So finding the right people that can fit within that mindset is indeed crucial as part of the recruiting process.
Yeah, I can imagine, only imagine what sort of challenges that causes, and having to have such a aggressive goal of building an entire team within 30 to 45 days is truly a challenge, because that also includes interviews with our clients, doesn't it? They're involved in the process, and that's one of the secrets, and not really a secret, but that's one of the reasons for our success, the collaborative and sort of iterative process of bringing on such an important function for many of our clients and building a team to support that function in such a short period of time. So, it's very, very impressive. Once somebody is onboarded or brought on, what's the orientation process for someone? Chris?
Yeah, so in Infinit-O, once a candidate gets hired, they immediately go through what we call new hire orientation process. So this is done by the HR to discuss to the new hires our policies, the code of conduct, explain to them the compensation and benefits package, and other ways of working in Infinit-O. They also need to complete some online mandatory courses such as data privacy and information security awareness. After the new hire orientation, the new hires also undergo onboarding with the operations. So this is the time wherein they do shadowing or buddy systems for the roles and other trainings that will help them to be successful in the role.
Mm-hmm. And I've heard that in many of our teams, we do shadowing and buddy systems and team ups with their colleagues as well. And I believe that that's a very positive
Absolutely.
aspect. Flo?
Absolutely. I think um, again, as part of the overall employee experience, onboarding is a key aspect of making sure that the new team members are feeling welcome to the organization, are understanding really what is expected of them, the work that they have to do. And we know that that section is crucial when it comes to effectively engaging and performing. So that as an organization, we have to ensure that this phase between hiring and performing is effectively allowing the new hires to get everything they need to be performing as quickly as possible and to the best of their ability.
Well said. And it makes me think that that is such a great component, an important component of building out what we call great teams, extensions of our clients, and sort of mini extensions of Infinit-O to each of our clients, ambassadors. Moving back to the topic of building great teams, Chris, it seems that you've established some really good best practices to ensure that we can meet our goals and to help to ensure the clients that we're living up to our promise. Would you make any further comment about how your team itself is a great team, your team of recruiters? They have significant experience and so forth. Talk about that for a moment. Flo, how would you comment about why we're so good at building teams?
I would say that we fully understand the role that we have to play among all the stakeholders, including our partners and our team members. And I think we, as an organization in IO, operate as the stepping stone, at the platform that operates to kind of link all of these stakeholders together, make sure that to a point you mentioned earlier, Mike, everybody listen to each other and understand each other, the needs that they have towards each other. And that's really how we get to create that win-win situation across, again, all the stakeholders. We have the ability to provide growth opportunities for all our partners in IO, and that's something that we've always been carrying since the inception of IO. We always say that we want to create endless opportunities for our partners, regardless whether they are clients or team members. And I think that's something that we keep on carrying and delivering on. And I think that's also part of the reason why we're so motivated to create those great teams, because we know that it leads to effectively more opportunities for our, again, partners to become more of themselves when it comes to individuals, or more of the vision that they carry, and that would be for our partners. And what I would say is, back to the core component of great teams, the people, the things that we foster in the organization. What we really foster is the ability to help people understand what is the job that they have to do and why it matters, what it matters for the organization, for themselves, and for the partners.
And that has been the Outsourcing Hub Podcast, building great teams with Mike Gunion. Thank you for tuning in. And always remember, start small, exceed expectations, think infinitely, think Infinit-O. To learn more about us, make sure to visit our website at www.infinit-o.com or email us at info@infinit-o.com.